Game highlights with Coach Keith Etheredge. This episode is brought to you by MCM Sports and Trophies, uniforms, trophies, t-shirts, Letterman jackets, and more. Call 205-451-6571. Friends to elect Dickie Drake for State Representative 45. See his platform at dickiedrake.com and remember to vote November 29th. Keith Hall Properties has commercial retail space available in the great downtown Leeds location, just over the track from the historic depot. Call 699-3260 for more information. For great rates on car insurance, Brian Worley is there. For a free quote, call his office at 205-640-1000 or check out his website at www.brianworley.net. The Right Stuff Thrift Store, the right stuff at the right price, located on Parkway Drive across from Leeds First Baptist Church. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6.
Hello everyone, this is Michael Turner, principal of Leeds High School, hosting a postseason edition of the Leeds Herald After the Game Highlights. To my side is the one and only Coach Keith Etheredge, and we are joined today in studio with the brains behind the organization. Can you tell everybody your name?
Kenzie.
Kenzie Reese? Kenzie Reese Etheredge. Fantastic. And a thank you once again to all the supporters who, in fact, do any and everything they can to help us be able to broadcast this show. Coach, let's just jump right into it. Last week, 28-27, nail biter. You couldn't have planned this any different. Us coming out on top by 1 point.
Yep, it was a great game on both sides. We struggled a little bit at the start, stopping the running game. I think they had all their rushing yards in the first half, basically first two drives. We did a good job settling down, getting used to the speed of the game. They were very, very athletic, and we settled down and we stopped the run in the second and third, fourth quarter, and they started putting the ball in the air. And right there at the end, we made a huge play to seal the win.
Fantastic, Coach. I'll be honest with you. Driving the 3.5, 4 hours down to Abbeville was something in itself. And then getting down there and seeing the athletes take the field, and Coach, you couldn't have pegged it any closer. Those kids were just as athletic as probably any team that we faced this year. And seemingly, they kind of had us on our heels early. They had great field position, seemingly every time we punt or kicked the ball to them. And that's something that we had to adjust to over the course of the game. And then at the end, when we did get it in there, then they had another long run to put them in good position. But we found a way, obviously, to do what we needed to do. Coach, talk to me a little bit about Christian, the Blaylocks, this huge play at the end there, where we've been pounding the ball, and then we set up this huge 4th and 10 play that really I thought was the very pivotal play of the game.
Yeah, it was a huge play for us. The drive before, actually, we scored on a 77-yard run by Ladarius Rogers, and we tried to throw the ball. The play before that sort of backed it. It was an incomplete pass, but we had a guy behind him, sort of backed him off a little bit, and then, Ladarius was able to hit it up the gut and score one. And then this drive, we drove it right down, pounding, and then we got a 3rd and long. We run a counter boot, and we get an incomplete pass, and then on fourth and long, Dylan Shelton connects with Christian Blaylock on perfect pass, perfect catch, and then he gets in the end zone for a huge play. And Keaton Glass being good on all his extra points, it ended up being the difference in the game. Absolutely.
Coach, be honest, the inquiring minds wanted to know, did you call that play on 4th and 10 or did our OC?
Our OC.
Okay, the inquiring minds wanted to know who called that play. Because I promise you that was certainly the play of the game, or the offensive play of the game, which brings me to the defensive play of the game. As we mentioned previously, when we kicked the ball off, they took the ball down to, I think, close to our 40-yard line, and 32-yard line to be exact. And of course, they really couldn't get what they wanted with the running play, which set up this 3rd down play for them. And obviously, we had a freshman. Tell me about that freshman that made a spectacular interception there, Coach.
Adam Mitchell, he's done a great job for us all year, stepping in and playing the role that Jonathan Rose played last year, and done a great job for us. And he comes up with a huge play the other night. Matter of fact, it was an over route. He breaks on the over route and ends up picking the ball off with one hand and keeping both feet in. So, it's a great play.
We get the ball back. and now it's time to kind of burn some clock here. Tell me about the mindset there. Do we just try to do our best to run the clock and then kick it back to them, or what was the mindset there?
We wanted to get a first down. We definitely didn't want them touching the ball again. So we got in the power eye, got in too tight power eye, and sort of did some of our bread and butter. We got to put Devin Braxton in the backfield, does a great job lead blocking, put Speedy behind him and Chris, and let them run the ball a couple times. And Christian at fullback. Ran behind Trayvon Strickland, Ladarius Burke, Eddie Boswell, and those guys. They did a great job. I can't say enough about Blake English, Adam Isbell. Those guys did a fantastic
incredible job blocking.
Andrew Isbell.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mackenzie had it all figured out there. I think she was kind of prodding you there on some of those names, right, Mackenzie?
Yep.
How about that, Coach? We got the I would say our nemesis, if you will, from the other region that we cross with, and that's of course the Gordo Green Wave. Right. Tell me about the battle of the Green Wave. Are we pretty evenly matched, or is there something that we need to look at?
I think they've got a lot of speed. Like last week, that could give us problems. They got two big defensive tackles who are real strong, and they're good up front. So we're going to have to play our best game to expect to win the game. And I think our guys are ready. We're going to be without some key players this week who suffered some injuries. And we're not going to whine a bellyache. We're just going to make sure that some younger guys step in and make up the difference.
Sure.
I think they're ready to.
Coach, talk to me about some of the players that you had to, in fact, step in this past week, and then maybe some of the players that we're looking at this week to maybe step in and fill some voids.
Well, you got D'Angelo Webster stepped in as freshman, did a good job last week. You had Stanley Strickland did a good job last week. So we're going to ask a lot of our younger guys. Stanley's actually a senior who's gotten better and better as the years went on, and there's a lot of guys. Ladarius Burke has been playing more on the defensive front also, and he's done a great job there. So we're just asking us to sort of fill it by committee.
Coach, if we're fortunate enough to pull this game out against Gordo, walk me through. Who do we want to see? Do we want to see Bayside, or do we want to see Clay County? That's the game that, of course, would pit the quarterfinals, us in the quarterfinals. Granted, we win against Gordo. Is there any team, one or the other, that we'd want to see the rematch with Clay County, a little revenge, if you will, or do we want to see Bayside, which possibly would have to travel to us and give us another home game?
They would have to travel to us. So, we're not going to pick and choose our opponents for next week. We'll play anybody. As long as we're there next week, we'll play anybody. It doesn't matter to us. We would like to have a home game, of course, but we'd also like for our region to win out, and play each other. So, either way, we're gonna play. If we win this week, we'll have a great, big task ahead of us next week, and we just got to take it a week at a time now in the state playoffs, and we just got to win the next game.
Coach, you said this was a tough region, and it just so happened in the first round of the playoffs, all 4 teams, 1 through 4. Won in the region. Was that a shock to you, or is this something that confirmed your suspicion?
Yeah, it wasn't a shock to me. I think that Walter Wellman, 4th place, played the first seed from the other region and won 43-13. So that just talks about how tough our region is, week in, week out. Mulberry could very well have made the playoffs, and they could be sitting in that spot where Wellman is.
Sure. Coach, so you got your handful there, just like you probably got a handful against Gordo come Friday night. Folks, we're not going to have to travel many hours. We are actually hosting right here at Homer Smiles Stadium. So please come out, support the Green Wave as we take on Gordo in the second round, and I promise you, you will not be disappointed. This is going to be a good old-fashioned slobber knocker, and I promise you. Also, thank you once again for all of your continued support and supporting what we do here. In respect to the Leeds Herald after the game highlights, and always remember, Mackenzie, are you ready? 1, 2, 3, roll Green Wave!